Whenever people criticize China, they would pretend to be the victim and point the finger back and take absolutely no responsibility and quick to call the criticizer biased, desperate. Hatred education is a huge part in our education system. F the outside world, they all want us to fail. They truly hate us, especially the US. But when the camera flips, China would present itself as this peaceful country that has zero hate to anybody. Hello everyone, welcome back. I hope you're having a great week. I was preparing my video for this week and I received a comment that I think is worth responding to. I'm going to read the comment to you. Comparing the economy of a tiny country like Taiwan with China is ridiculous. Taiwan was a project of America and they had a direct interest in its success. Without American capital and technological development, it would be a third world backwater. China had to build itself independent of such an arrangement, and in fact, there is explicit technological and economic pressure applied to China by the US with their economic and technological stagnation. Also, to be clear, she used stats from 1990. That's 35, I'm not going to swear, years ago. Things have changed and are changing rapidly. Criticizing China is important, but this is just desperate bias. The reason I think this comment is worth responding to is because this way of thinking is a typical tactic that the CCP supporters use. Whenever people criticize China, they would pretend to be the victim and point the finger back and take absolutely no responsibility and quick to call the criticizer biased, desperate. You know, if you're a seasoned China watcher, you're already able to look beyond this comment and really see through some of the sophistry that they utilize. Good for you. But if you're someone who kind of are in the middle, and I think that's a lot of us who live in a middle power, like Canada or Switzerland or South Korea, people in general don't like superpowers. China, US, they all sound really scary. They would be like, oh, that's right. Maybe China is the victim. Maybe the Chinese government did their best. Look over there. Don't look here. If you know someone who is in the middle ground, or maybe you are yourself, this video is for you. To give you a little bit more context, this is a comment for my second video where I reacted to Sarah Paine's analysis and comparison of Taiwan and China. Let's break it down line by line. Comparing the economy of a tiny country like Taiwan with China is ridiculous. I don't know if there's anything ridiculous about that. We compare countries of different sizes all the time. And this is not a competition of who is bigger, who is smaller. It is about who has a better quality of life, who generated more wealth for the people, who is offering its citizens more freedom. Yeah, this is really not about size, and there's really nothing ridiculous about comparing two countries. In the original video, Sarah Paine compared these two countries because of their historical roots. She obviously knows a lot about the history of the two countries. Taiwan and China, we speak the same language, we are of the same race. There's a lot of similarities between the two, so I think a comparison is more than fair. If anything, Taiwan is the smaller country here. It has fewer resources. It has fewer people to generate that wealth. If anything, this makes Taiwan's growth even more impressive by building a globally competitive tech industry with limited natural resources. I don't think this is unfair to China or it's ridiculous like they suggested. Taiwan was a project of America and they had a direct interest in its success. I don't think it's fair to say that a country is the US project, but it is true that Taiwan received help from the US. A lot of people helped Taiwan, not just the US. Taiwan is allies with a lot of democratic countries in the world. I think we all know that it takes a lot more than a country's help to develop its economy. Ironically, look at China. China didn't develop in a vacuum. China's development for the past 2 decades are heavily dependent on foreign investment. The ongoing trading war is hurting China's economy so badly that they caved. That's because up until this day, China's relied on a lot of friendly hands from countries in the West. Remember in 2001, we joined the WTO because the world welcomed us in. And not just the US, but Japan, Canada, and European countries, they've all poured their resources to this market. It is mutually beneficial and it brought huge success and growth in China's economy. But look at China today compared to Taiwan today. Its own system stifled its own growth. Growing up, you don't hear a lot about other nations. Hatred education is a huge part in our education system. Whenever there is a success, it has to be about the Chinese Communist Party. It's never about any country that helped us. It's not even about our own citizens, our own people. If something is good, it is because of the Chinese Communist Party. If something is bad, it is because of anything but the Chinese Communist Party. After being brainwashed for years, they do firmly believe that. Most of them are unaware of Taiwan's success, are unaware of how the world initially embraced China's growth and really had genuine hope that China would be more liberal and would be more democratic eventually after its economic boom. And frankly, I don't blame them because that is the logic that was instilled in us when we were 6 years old. People in China who were drinking the Kool-Aid of the Chinese Communist Party often have this mindset of us and them. F the outside world. They all want us to fail. They truly hate us, especially the US. But when the camera flips, China would present itself as this peaceful country that has zero hate to anybody. Secretly inside, they would tell their citizens, oh, don't trust nobody. They're up to no good. That's as two-faced as you can get. Okay, let's continue. There is explicit technological and economic pressure applied to China by the US with their economy and technological stagnation as the goal. Right now, there is definitely tension, but that has not always been the case. When China first decided to step away from communism, and when the Chinese government decided to offer more freedom to its people and the market, the world truly embraced China. They believed that China would liberalize. You know what? So did the Chinese people. We believed that too. It turns out it's just a huge load of lies. But we didn't know that back then. The crackdown on private sector, that is the key that China is in this economic mess right now. And final point, also to be clear, she used stats from 1990, that's 35 years ago. Things have changed and are changing rapidly. Okay, let's look at the most updated numbers, shall we? Okay, this is data crunched by the World Economics. We're going to look at GDP per capita rankings in 2024. And let's look at the Asia-Pacific region, right? As you can see here, Taiwan ranked 8th with a GDP per capita of $68,000. Look at China. China ranked 21st with a GDP per capita of only $28,000. Just to put things into perspective, here is a line graph prepared by the country economy. As you can see here, there are two lines representing GDP per capita of both Taiwan and China. Look at the line here. They both started from near poverty, and Taiwan has been consistently performing better than China. And China's economy only took off around 2005, 4 years after it joined WTO. But still, it's significantly lower than Taiwan's number.